terms of young people indulging early, where we are seeing you as young people, like what he's saying, once you have nothing to do or because of the technology, you are finding yourself finding solace in having sex at a very tender age. When you are looking at the trends that are prevailing, are you having sex with your age mates, or you find that other young people go for older men or older women? What is the trend?
Okay, thank you very much. So you realize that it's a combination of facts, because we are also seeing that there are also young people that are indulging with people that are older than them, that we term it age mixing. Mm-hmm. So you realize that there are a lot of reasons why young people are indulging. For example, like what Pami said, these young people are becoming sexually active at a tender age, around 10 or 12. Mm-hmm. No wonder why you realize that most organizations, youth saving organizations, CSOs, have been pushing for the current push, which is removal of the age restriction, structural barriers and legal barriers to accessing extra services. Mm-hmm. Why? Because we are realizing that it is a present reality that young people are indulging at a very tender age. Among them, the reasons are issues to do with technology. Mm-hmm. You realize that in the past, most of our elders were not exposed to this technology, social media. Mm-hmm. So these young people, for example, their parents give themselves on the 10th call. Mm-hmm. So when they go on social media, they want to explore. After exploring, they then experiment. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of reasons why young people are indulging. Mm-hmm. And we accept that it's a present reality that young people are indulging in sexual activities at a very tender age.
Mm-hmm. And then going on that, when we are looking at the laws of the land, it's actually illegal for young people to indulge. Anyone having sexual intercourse with a young person below the age of 16, it's an offense. Yes. Yet you are saying this is the lived reality. So the lived reality and what is expected are not corresponding. What should be done?
So you realize that I remember sometime in 2020 we had a regional dialogue with the current Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Bernard Mazimba, mm-hmm. at Krista Jameson, discussing about this issue. And I remember raising this point, pointing it clearly that a policy is a theory, right? Mm-hmm. But there's what we call the practicalities of the policy. Yes. What is being said on black and white here is different from what is happening. Mm-hmm. So what we now need going forward in terms of policy framework is harmonization and effective implementation of the policies. Mm-hmm. We need, for example, committees that are there to only make sure that what the police is saying is what is happening. But there are situations whereby what the police expect from people, young people, for example, you have mentioned that if anyone sleeps with a young person who is below the age of 16, that's an offense, according to the policies that we have. But there are those that are sleeping with young people below the age of 16. Yes. So the question is, what should be done going forward? So what will be my advocacy or my bone of contention is, let's advocate for effective policy implementation and harmonization of the police. The other key driver to this problem is the policies that they are not speaking to each other. Mm-hmm. So that also creates some confusion around the legal framework.
So what you are saying, Gideon, is sex amongst young people is happening, and we should actually make do with what's happening and make sure that we create an enabling environment, harmonize the laws and policies so that young people indulge.
Not really. Mm-hmm. But we are saying it's happening.
It's happening.
So what should be done? Yes. That's when we say let's come up with policies that are effectively implemented.
Yes. Delight, I'm coming to you now. You are in tertiary institutions, and what these two gentlemen have spoken to is exactly what's happening in tertiary institutions. Yes. Where there is a lot of sexual activity that happens there. And when we are now looking at the issue of reports that we then get of New HIV infections amongst young people, STIs, reports attribute all those to tertiary institutions. In terms of issues of prevention, are young people aware?
Thank you very much, Tari. I'll express myself in English and in Shona also.
Yes, please feel free.
Young people are aware of these services, but there are other challenges that they are facing in accessing those services. We cannot really say they are not aware. They are aware, but there are challenges they are facing in accessing those services. Let's say, for example, we take an issue of the attitude of the service providers. In as much as these young youths want to access those services, they fear the attitude they get from the service providers, be it nurses. Let me take, for example, mwana akaita seni ndikaenda pachipatara ndoti ndiri kuda kurapwa ndine siki nechi. You tend to find kuti manesi akangoti nesi ningiri hapana one dziri pano mwana mudiki uyu. So because of that, it's not hard for us as youths to access such services, thereby resulting in these new infections. Then when we also take it from the perspective of youth in tertiary, we also look at the economic situation of the country. So sometimes ndiriko kuchikoro mubereki oshaya paite zvinoitika, and I need to be empowered also. I need to go to school. So ndopedza sera ndakuita indulge in these sexual activities with blessers because I need money to pay for my school fees. So there is now what we call transactional sex. What we are saying, ukandipo chakadai ndokupawo, and you see these new infections are now resulting because when there's that transactional sex, definitely hapana safe sex. Ipapo. Ndikuda mari yakawanda ende mari ndikuda mari yekuchikoro, saka definitely ndichatodzizwa kuti ndikuda mari yakawanda. I don't want to use a condom. I don't want this. Then we also point out to the issues of peer pressure. Youth in tertiary, we have part 1, part 2s, part 3s. And just imagine we're in part 1, washika pachikoro. You see in part 5 now, people are slaying. And I also need to slay. No, that's what's on the ground. I also need to slay. I also need to wear those shorts. And then yes, these Brazilians, Tari, I also need to slay. So due to peer pressure, I indulged in sex with blessers because no one would put marry. My parents would give me 20 US, the blesser would give me 140. Imagine.
So when there is that transactional sex, we want to zero in now on issue HIV, STIs. It means no protection. It's no protection.
It's no protection. And they mean and you tend to find people in tertiary are more concerned about I don't get pregnant.
That was actually my next question.
I don't want to get pregnant. The HIV, that's another case. Honestly, that's another case. So you can find whether we have used the condom but robust. The first thing I don't go funga morning after and tango fungo tikokana HIV. Tango fungo tikaita numbu. What's the next thing? So those can be some of the driving factors that will lead to these new HIV infections. Then we also talk about the incorrect use of condoms. The surface condom say. But if you have to ask some of these youth in tertiary, some of them do not even know. And the because sometimes, let's take for example in this COVID-19 era, hakuna interrail where they are saying you come to my room. So we use the car. So do you expect that there is going to be correct use of condoms? So those are some of the driving factors. Those are some of the
realities. And I'm hoping that we show you.
And those are some of the driving factors. And one more thing you have to take into consideration, some of our parents think that when mwana aenda ku university, vani information on everything. Some of them, they do not even know. So, there is lack of comprehensive SR issue, SR education, sexuality education. it's a driving factor. We think vana vari kuziva vana havasi kuziva, which is leading to the spread of HIV new infections. Then we also talk about the low risk perception. We talk about these semester marriages. Nhasi ndiri kudanana naDebrine, tatanga kugara so zvinhu zvakamira so, ini kwangu hakuna mari, kana kuti mari yatinayo tadi kuibatanidza, yako yotochibhadhira rent tigara tese. The next thing, after a month ndarambana naDebrine, ndakudanana napano, and we are not having protected sex.
And hazina kana basa neboys vanotombofila kuti watomubva only from one to the
and the life
next
is now
one.
easier for us because takuzoti saka mari yauya ngeri rent takumbodyiwa chikafu nechii. So those are some of the things and the key drivers of these new infections.
Yeah.
Because we talk about these semester marriages, after semester 3 months I have 4 boyfriends vandagara now. It's because of action. So I think I will explain though, and I will also point out to the issue of stigma and discrimination. When we are in tertiary education, I don't want you to know my status. I don't want Debrine to know. And when I get in a relationship with Debrine, just because I don't want him, there are myths. I know HIV, then there are so many things that people attach to that.
Yes.
So I don't tell you my HIV status. So by that, we are actually having that unprotected sex and undercover what's going on. So because I feel that stigma and discrimination within that community, so it's a cause of action. So I think I'll point those as the key driving factors of HIV infections among young people in tertiary.
Yes,